$69.33. Cisco, $77.70. Boeing, $217.73. Caterpillar, $716.92. Disney, $101.31. ExxonMobil, $148.12. First Energy, $50.67. Johnson & Johnson, $243.70. Home Depot, $357.02. Intel, $46.78. McDonald's, $327.98. Meta Platforms, $654.07. PNC Financial Services, $206.39. Raytheon Technologies, $207.02. Rockwell Automation, $374.11. Tesla, $399.23. Verizon, $50.74. And Walmart, $125.12. Recapping, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 34 points, closing at 47,707. The NASDAQ Composite was up 1 point, closing at 22,697. And the S&P 500 was down 21 points, closing at 6,775. From the Uniontown office of Janney Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC, where we serve all of your investment needs, this is Jeremy Hoover.
If you're a small business owner in Fayette County, think about everything you need to help your business succeed. You need a plan, happy customers, steady cash flow, and an insurance agent that gets you. State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson runs a small business in Uniontown, too. He understands the unique needs of local business owners. He'll make it easy to choose the right protection at the right price, because the one thing you don't need is insurance stress. Call State Farm agent Nathan Ferguson for your small business needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking for a fireplace? Koval Building Supply at 40 Monroe Avenue in Uniontown is more than your plumbing supply store. We specialize in fireplaces of all fuel types, such as gas, wood, pellet, and electric. We're now featuring Harmon pellet stoves from Forge and Flame, perfect for keeping your family warm and cozy. Call Koval today at 724-437-8824 or visit kovalsupply.com to start planning for the winter season. Koval Building Supply, everything you need to make your house feel like home.
Look and you'll see there's a whole new Ford for you and me. It's time.
February is Auto Show time at Thurby's Riverside Ford. That means special financing and Auto Show bonus cash on new Ford SUVs and trucks. Have you been thinking about a new 2025 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive XLT? Take advantage of 3.9% for 72 months plus $2,000 in Auto Show bonus cash during the Auto Show month. Now that's an Auto Show deal.
How about this? All new 2026 Ford Escapes come with $2,500 in Ford factory rebates. And the showstopper, the 2025 Bronco Sport Big Bend and Outer Banks with 2.9% financing and $2,000 in Ford factory rebates during Auto Show month. We have the inventory in stock and on the way.
Thurby's Riverside Ford, your presidential award-winning dealer, located on Route 40, 1 mile past the casino at Nemacolin. See Joey, Jimmy, Sammy, or Ashley.
Offer has been extended to March 31st, 2026.
If you're in the market for a power lift recliner for someone with special needs, or just a power recliner for the convenience, Chesler's Fine Furniture is your headquarters with the biggest stock and biggest selection, all available for immediate delivery. Select from Lazy Boy, Catnapper, and Mega Motion in a variety of sizes, styles, and features. Some have heat and massage and power headrests, or select a total lay-flat model with feet elevated. Chesler's has fabrics in a variety of textures and colors. There is surely one to fit your needs. And remember, the team at Chesler's services all recliners purchased from their showroom. Power lift recliners start at $7.99, and regular power recliners start at just $6.59. Credit terms, layaway, and delivery are available. Chesler's Fine Furniture, Route 51 in Uniontown, where customers send their friends.
Did you know that you have a choice for your physical therapy provider? NovaCare Rehabilitation offers same-day appointments, and oftentimes you don't need a prescription from your doctor to see us. We will make sure that you are treated as an individual and will work directly one-on-one with you to help achieve your goals. You have tried the rest, now try the best. NovaCare, Delaware Avenue in Uniontown. Phone 724-437-0556 to schedule your appointment today.
It's the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. So, nice day out there right now. What are we looking at? 75 degrees outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios.
And our fight with the mic.
Microphones.
Just hold it like you're doing stand-up. Hey, I tell you. My wife screams during sex.
I want to welcome those watching us on Facebook Live.
It's so bright out. Did you spring forward successfully, Doug?
I did, except yesterday I was all confused on something. I couldn't understand what was going on. I did not adjust my clock in my car.
Oh, that's maybe the last one that doesn't adjust automatically.
Yeah, that and the one on the stove.
Oh, that's right. Microwave.
Thank
God for the phone, though. And I was actually
my
up.
VCR, I had to update.
It's so fun to see the time go from 1:59 to 3. I stayed up to do it. I was up anyway doing other things. We won't get into it, but 1:59 to 3, it's fun. And then when it falls backward, that's also fun. It's the little things in life.
Yeah, almost exciting when your car would go to 100,000 miles.
That's right. Yes, that's exciting.
Yeah, now it's digital. It's not quite the same.
No, it's
it doesn't
not.
have the tenths.
Ugh.
No tenths.
No tenths. That's good. You got the THS in there.
Is that what it is?
That's good.
Tenths. So, over the weekend, I went to a Duquesne basketball game.
Oh, Dukes, put them up. Go Dukes.
There we go. So Dukes, I'm with my three of my 4 daughters. One's on spring break somewhere at the beach.
Oh, boy.
And I just wrote a check. That's how I know. So she's somewhere. And so then my son-in-law and 2 of my daughter's boyfriends go. We're watching Duke Richmond, the last home game, senior night. And in the first half, at one point, Duke was losing 38-8.
38-8.
38. Sound like a high school score. 38-8. My
That's
daughter,
rough.
I looked over and she's shopping online on her phone.
Right.
They won the game.
They did? They came back?
79-77.
No kidding.
It was incredible. I mean,
pandemonium in the arena.
It was pretty wild. People went
I'm
crazy,
sure a lot of people left,
especially on senior night. Yeah, for the people who left a little early. And oddly enough,
that's show business for you.
Duquesne Athletics Department's calling me right now because I'm trying to get the coach on the show tomorrow.
Wow.
And
they heard you talk about them on the air.
Drew Joyce.
Oh, Drew Joyce. Good man.
I did this ahead of time. But yeah, they came back, and it was a win right out of a movie. They took the last second shot with, 4 seconds left, maybe 5 seconds left. It missed, bounced off. Dixon, their star player who got the biggest round of applause on senior night, jumps up and tips it in. As the ball is bouncing around the hoop, the red light goes on around the backboard.
Wow.
And it goes through, and they win the game, 79-77.
That's amazing. I wasn't aware of this.
Funny.
How was it not on the local news?
Only the 4th time in NCAA history a team came back 30 points down. I mean, it was 38-8.
That's quite a deficit, yeah.
Yeah, it's and I was sitting next to a fellow, very friendly. He was friendly for a while until things started going bad. He was
rooting for the other team.
Right. He was the father of one of the assistant coaches for the Richmond Spiders.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he got less friendly.
Yeah.
And apparently every call was going against Richmond at that point.
Yeah.
It was something to watch. It was a heck of we were going crazy.
Well, good for the Dukes.
To watch that, yeah. So they'll be in the tournament shortly here. Pitt won the first game.
They did. They beat Stanford. ACC tournament.
Isn't Stanford in California?
It is, yes. They're in the Atlantic Coast Conference. California is also in the ACC. Cow. So, I mean, who can understand any of this anymore?
Yeah, it's only a matter of years until there's 3 conferences in all sports.
Right. It's going to be
and
the
everything
Big Ten,
else is
the
Division
SEC.
3.
Right. Yeah, they're going to eliminate Division 2.
Yeah, and even Trump has chimed in saying they've got to do something.
They had a college athletics roundtable I saw, which with the war going on and everything else, why not talk about college football?
Speaking of the war in Iran, we'll be checking in with Colonel Jeff McCausland at 6:20 to get his take on the latest in Iran. They elected a new leader, which sounds funny. Elected, I think 5 people elect the guy.
Yeah, it's the guy's son.
He's probably the most marked man on the planet right now, the new Ayatollah, and he's attacking who used to be part of his inner circle, the countries around him who supported Iran.
He's now attacking them. Then they came out and apologized for that, but they're still attacking them.
Right.
We're sorry we're shooting missiles in your direction, but we're still going to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
And we're making light of this, but it is a war, and sadly, some Americans have lost their lives.
Right.
Over 100 have been injured.
Service members.
So, yeah, it's although at the same time, I saw a stat how many people have died in Chicago during that same amount of time who were murdered. It's higher.
Right.
So it's very interesting to see what's happening over there, and we'll check in with Jeff McCausland. We're going to talk to Loman Henry coming up at 5:35 about the latest in the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference is coming up. In fact, you just heard Loman during his show, Lincoln Radio Journal. That's a recorded program, of course. This will be a live interview, naturally. And then coming up, our good friend Dick Jewell, who's a local business leader and really an expert on all things public affairs. We'll talk to him at 6:35 tonight. And then we have Penguin hockey tonight. They are in Raleigh taking on the Hurricanes.
Yes. What a comeback for them Sunday.
Yes.
Must have been a great comeback weekend in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
You
they
telling
were down,
me about
what,
Duquesne?
3-0?
They were down 3-0. It was their biggest comeback, their first 3-goal comeback without Crosby or Malkin in the lineup since 2001, which amazingly was 25 years ago. But yeah, sit
How
out
old
with
were
an
you then?
injury.
Yeah.
I was a young whippersnapper at 5, I guess. You were, you have ties older than me. I'm sure you can make the joke.
Oh, I'm sure I do have ties older than you. I know I do.
Well, hey, age is just a number, Doug.
That's
Just
all it is.
your number's just a lot higher than mine, a lot bigger than
I
mine.
have a lot fewer left.
That's right. Yes, you have more yesterdays than tomorrows, as the song goes.
When we all turned 60, me and my buddies from high school, somebody said, "Okay, we're now in the fourth quarter." I'm like, "Oh, don't say that."
You're in the autumn of your years, as
I
Sinatra
guess so.
said. Fourth quarter, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Hopefully you go to overtime.
Yeah.
And then sudden death.
Yeah, that's right. I don't like to think of it that way.
No,
but I
you
guess-
have a long time to
and
live.
I get disappointed when I see how many of my high school classmates. I think we've lost out of 68 in our class. We've lost 18.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
you don't go into the yearbook and write them out, cross them
No,
off.
I don't
do
cross
you?
them off,
There's somebody on a sitcom did that. They had the yearbook open. They were
cross
crossing
them out.
people off.
Well,
Dolores Johnson crossed
We're
out.
way above the average. Like if you said how many folks should be alive past age 62, we're really above the curve. Or
Right.
below the curve, however you want to view it.
No, you look good, Doug,
It's not
except for
good.
your lack of hair.
My lack of hair.
But that's not going to
But
kill you.
That was happening in my late 20s.
Oh my gosh!
And as I look across our studio, it seems to be happening to somebody else in the studio.
I'm holding on to my hair. That's why you said I should get a haircut. No,
I used
I'm
to-
holding on to as much hair as I can.
I used to have hair partway down my back in college, and then for a while, if you can remember, if you think about what Frazier looks like, bald head and lots
Yeah.
of hair in the back. My mom used to say that my hair would look like it was falling off the back of my head, and that's exactly what happened. But I never have a comb over. That was an agreement that me and my then fiance had.
That was in the prenup.
That's right, because my dad, God love his rest his soul, he had a horrible comb over. In fact,
like father, like son.
we were swimming. I never had that. We were swimming one time. My dad's swimming along, and of course, that part gets lower and lower on the side of your head as you do a comb over. And he's swimming along, and he had this tail of hair, like a kite, behind him.
Right.
And that's when my mother said, "Honey," she was sitting on the side of the pool. "That's it. Cut it off."
There you go. And when the missus says to do something, you do
That's
it.
right. Exactly. So no, I agreed never to have a comb over.
Well, there you go.
Intimate parts of my life, I guess, the details of that. Also,
absolutely.
I had to agree if we had sons, which we don't, and we 4 daughters, I could never name anybody after anybody on my side of the family. And I told this story privately. Have I ever told it over the air?
I'm not sure. It's hard to keep up if the
So
stories
then-
you tell are on the air or off.
It's right. It's hard to remember. My dad, bad names come from my family. My dad was Ralph George.
It's a good one. Solid.
Yeah. He had a younger brother, Don Fred.
Don Fred, DF.
He had an older brother, Bob Elmer.
Bob Elmer. These are real man names.
And my grandfather was Elmer Casper.
That's a great one. That takes the
yes,
cake.
They say technically the man determines the gender of the child, but I think somehow my wife worked it out. She's a nurse. I'm sure she knew some way to do it.
Yes.
So we had no sons and
4 daughters.
weren't
Kept
you-
going back to the well, and it kept coming up.
weren't using any of those
Female.
names. So my grandfather, Elmer Casper Saltzman, was a milkman. That's what he did for a living. And so I'm at some old cemetery trying to find some of our relatives. And I find a very fancy tombstone that says Dr. Elmer Casper Saltzman. Now, obviously that wasn't my grandfather. He was
Got a
milkman.
PhD in milk
Yeah,
delivery.
exactly. I'm like, it's got to be related to us. How many Elmer Casper Saltzmans are walking the planet?
Not many.
Let alone in a cemetery in the Carrick neighborhood of Pittsburgh. Elmer Casper Salt. We're trying to figure out
You haven't tracked it down yet?
how this guy was related to us.
Maybe he got a
Elmer
PhD in milk
Casper
delivery.
Saltzman.
Yeah, you never know.
My grandfather had a double life. Yeah,
That's
he was
right,
also
yeah.
a thoracic
life.
surgeon.
That's right, UPMC.
While delivering milk. My dad, we always joked about my dad. My dad was born in his parents' bedroom
Wow.
early
That's
in the
old
morning,
school.
just after midnight, apparently, and his mother made dinner that night.
He was, of course she did. That was those people were tough back
Oh,
then.
yeah.
He was built in a log cabin he built himself, as they
My-
say about Lincoln.
My aunt Lil and oh my gosh, Aunt Claire, they were midwives.
Oh.
And my uncle, Don, told me at one point, just a rough estimate, they think they delivered in their neighborhood over 500 babies.
Wow. They kept busy.
And what's Aunt Lil knew her stuff. Aunt Claire always assisted. And it must have been a little odd for the parents to see when she walked in because Aunt Clara was blind.
Oh.
So she's
a blind
helping deliver a
midwife.
baby and she's blind.
Well,
I guess that's the only way most people would want to watch something like
Yeah,
that.
it's horrifying. I've been told. I've never
If
seen
they were
it.
blind. Yeah, I've seen several, and all of them in my family. And it's they say it's a beautiful sight. It's not.
Yeah, I don't imagine.
It's not.
Let's not get into that.
It's absolutely amazing.
Cycle of
frankly.
life.
So, how did we get off on my
Who
Aunt
knows?
Clara?
Your Aunt Clara being a midwife,
Yeah.
a blind midwife.
A blind Aunt Clara and Aunt Lil, sisters, never married, spinsters. They called
Oh,
them back in those
spinsters,
days.
gypsies.
They used to not gypsies,
No,
but spinsters.
spinsters. Old maid, maybe? Was that a term?
Old maid. That's good. They
Old
would call
maid.
themselves that. They didn't find that offensive.
No,
back in
whatever.
those days.
Yeah, whatever.
They didn't live far from Uncle Ott. I had some
Uncle
great
Ott.
names. Yeah.
Those are great names.
My dad,
Ed Ott, Mel Ott.
My dad's family, 100% German. They were Lutheran. And we always loved some of the names that came out of their church. These folks have all passed away now. So in addition to Elmer Casper, Saltzman, there was, I'm thinking of the guys, and they all bowled in the bowling league with us.
Right.
Ellsworth Pyle.
Oh, that's a good
great
one.
name.
Ellsworth. Isn't that
Yeah.
a borough in Pittsburgh?
Homer Bohm.
Oh, my God. Homer.
Homer Bohm. Ellsworth. Oh,
That
Herky
predates
Yeckel.
Homer Simpson.
Oh, those great
Those
names.
are great names.
Yeah, those
Good
are-
bowling
okay.
names.
I guess, can you mention full names? Yeah, as a tribute.
Absolutely.
Well,
They're deceased, right? They're not going to.
They are deceased. And
Yeah,
we'll say that
okay.
the show today is dedicated to those guys.
All right, Doug, we'll do that.
Oh,
It's
great.
your show. You do what you want,
I
man.
guess that we get away with it doing it in that direction. Also tomorrow, by the way, on a little shorter show tomorrow. We'll be on until 6:45 because
Patriot League Championship in all of Fayette County is abuzz for the Boston University Lehigh matchup.
yeah. And why do we air these shows?
Yeah.
Or these games? Because if you want to hear March Madness on your local station, WMBS, we have to air some of these other ones.
That's right. Patriot League Championship. I guess this is considered March Madness, the conference tournaments.
Sure
but
it is.
The
Well,
big thing is next week.
The
Starts next
championship
week.
is not in March anymore, right?
No, it's in April.
It's in
It has
April.
been for years.
Like the
but-
October Classic.
That's right. Or the
Which-
what else is there? The October Classic. That's in November
Which
now.
I think is getting near Thanksgiving anymore.
Yeah, but what else is really ridiculous? We make fun of. I don't know. Maybe it is March
Well,
Madness with the championship
I
being
have
in
another
April.
job, and-
well, hockey and basketball, the finals are in June,
Right.
even though it's a winter sport.
I got an email from another job I work at, and they said the holidays to remember and celebrate in March include, of course, St. Patrick's Day and April Fool's Day. And I'm thinking, well, I don't think that's technically in March.
No, it's not.
That's the name of it alone
Yeah, right.
gives it away.
Right. Easter. Sometimes that's in March. This year it's early April 5th. But yeah, April Fool's Day is not in March because
No,
it's April Fool's Day.
And
Maybe
I-
that was the joke.
And I've had some great April Fool's jokes played on me, and I've played some good ones, the best all time. And I guess this is giving away too much about my private life.
Well, let me check. Is it on a Tuesday? Oh, it's on a Wednesday, so you may be pranking me. You'll be
okay.
here.
Or I just won't show up.
Just
until
won't
the
show
last
up.
minute.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a registered letter when I was about 24 years old, or 20. What?
Yeah, get it right,
Well,
Doug.
it was exactly 5 years after I dated this girl in college, and the registered letter from a law firm in New York City said that a paternity suit had been filed against me,
Oh, my God.
naming this woman I dated in college and now this 5-year-old child. And I'm thinking, dear God, I owe 5 years of back due child support.
You were panicking. I
and
would
I'm
have.
trying to call the guy. He won't take the call. And finally, his secretary says, "Oh, Mr. Saltzman, I have a message to you from blah, 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 April Fool's."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh, it was classic.
I would have been.
It
I don't
was
even know what I would have done.
Classic.
Yeah.
And the time, of course, he was a buddy of mine. It was official law firm letterhead, but he faked the name of the attorney on there.
That's great. That's brilliant.
And all the timing was right. Everything made sense. I'm like, dear God.
Yeah.
How much
what
do
have
I
I
owe,
done?
and who is this kid? But that was a gem.
Well, it could have been the son you never had.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Apparently it was.
Yeah, I guess.
I never
That's
did
true.
that. I never
That's
did
true.
have him. But yeah, that was a good. I do those other ones, and you can do this to your friends. You leave messages for people from Mr. Bear or Mr. Lions.
Right.
And leave the number for the Pittsburgh Zoo.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. And apparently
these are all great ideas, kids.
Zoos get hundreds of calls on April Fool's Day. Might talk to Mr. Bear.
Mr. Lions.
Or Mr. Lions. Coming up in about 5 seconds, CBS News Brief. After that, check in with Loman Henry, our friend from the Lincoln Institute on your local station. WMBS, Uniontown.
CBS News Brief. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says the U.S. has not yet escorted any oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, contrary to a since-deleted tweet from Energy Secretary Chris Wright. But she says the U.S. Navy stands ready to do so if necessary. Traffic in the strait is down about 90%, and gas prices are still on the rise. In Raleigh, North Carolina,
as it is with the food, gas looks like it's going to be the same way real soon. So, a little stressful.
a special election is being held in Georgia's 14th congressional district to replace Marjorie Taylor Greene in Congress. There are 17 candidates. Sean Harris is one of the Democrats.
I'm confident that tonight in this exact room, we're going to announce that we just won this race completely out.
Republican Clay Fuller is endorsed by President Trump. Someone fired shots at the U.S. consulate in Toronto this morning. No suspect in custody. Toronto Deputy Police Chief Frank Barreto.
There were people inside the building. However, this building is highly secure, highly fortified, and there were no injuries.
CBS News Brief, I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
Tune in each Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. right here on WMBS 590 AM and FM 101.1 for Garden Talk Radio. It's the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. Topic-focused, guests from across the country, and answering your garden questions. Send your questions in now to gardentalkradio@gmail.com or call anytime to 1-800-927-SHOW. That's every Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. right here on WMBS 590 AM and FM 101.1. Catch the replay Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m.
Ready to score big on your next home? Well, great news. Huge savings are waiting for you at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. From open floor plans perfect for game day parties to energy-efficient homes that will help you save money all season long, these homes are built to deliver. Don't wait on the sidelines. Make the winning play today and find the home that fits your family and lifestyle. Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon at 4500 Route 51.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281.
Unlock the energy at Live Casino Pittsburgh during the Spring ZDX giveaway. Play daily to earn entries toward our giveaway drawings on March 27th and 28th, where you could win a share of over $55,000 in prizes, or race away in a new 2026 Acura ZDX all-wheel drive EV. Get charged up for the Acura ZDX giveaway on March 27th and 28th, only at Live Casino Pittsburgh. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect gift. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson is here in Uniontown to help you select the right protection at the right price. Nate will make sure you understand your coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm Agent Nate Ferguson, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call Nate when you want the real deal.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
If you are looking for a trusted local law firm with a strong commitment to their clients, look no further than Zebley Law Offices. Attorney Zebley has been practicing law in Fayette County for more than 4 decades. Although specializing in bankruptcy, Zebley also handles real estate matters, civil suits, collections, wills, powers of attorney, and more. If you need legal help, go with a name you recognize and trust. Call Zebley Law Offices today at 724-439-9200.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles, and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
WMBS.
So do you suppose this could be like the official song of the Trump administration? It's the immigrant song.
It is the immigrant song from Led Zeppelin, a little garage band I'm a fan of.
They should play that sometime at one of his rallies.
They should, absolutely.
Yeah.
He did play a lot. You Can't Always Get What You Want by the Stones at his rallies.
And I'm sure they complained.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, you can't play our songs.
Yeah, Neil Young freaked out, among many others.
Yeah, well, you knew that one was coming.
Well,
I guess
there's
that's
that. Keep on rocking in the free world, Neil.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. As I mentioned earlier, of course, you hear American Radio Journal, Lincoln Radio Journal on this station, and we joke at times, especially when it comes to announcers for the Pirates, the Steelers, or the Penguins. They're on the air here as much as anybody. We really should invite them to the Christmas party every year.
Oh, absolutely. Loman's on the air more than people who work here on the air.
Yeah, that would include our next guest, of course, who hosts those two shows I just mentioned, and they've been on here for many, many, many years. From the Lincoln Institute. And joining us is the chairman, the guy, the president, the CEO. He's got all kind of titles of the Lincoln Institute for Public Opinion Research, Loman Henry. Loman, thanks for joining us. In fact, your show was just on about an hour and a half ago, so it's good to have you.
Oh, that's awesome, Doug.
It's good to have you live on the air.
Great being back with you.
Yeah, as I was driving here, I was listening to you. I'm like, well, now that's good show prep when you don't often get to hear the person you're about to interview.
There we go.
Do a recorded interview. But how many years have you been doing those two shows? Lincoln Radio Journal, of course, which airs throughout Pennsylvania. American Radio Journal, that airs everywhere from the Florida Keys practically to Alaska. How long have you been doing those?
We started Lincoln Radio Journal 31 years ago. So I guess it was about 1994, 1995.
Wow.
And we started American Radio Journal, came quite a bit afterward. It was in 2008.
Oh, for heaven's sake. You've only been on the air for 17 years with that one, if I do my math right. Or 15 years, something. Yeah.
Small amount of time.
Thank you, Nick. 18 years. We're trying to figure out the math on that one.
That's not a strong suit.
And we really have, we'll toot our own horn here, being a local station, family owned for, we're coming up on 90 years, right?
We're almost there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 90 years.
Until the FCC gets onto our case.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we somehow evaded their
notices
over the years. But yeah,
reviews.
we're one of the rare family-owned stations anymore. And next year I think it's 90. Yeah, 90 years.
Wow.
And so we're glad to keep it going. And there aren't too many local stations like that. They're all owned by these conglomerates, and it's nice to be able to have this opportunity to keep this sort of thing going. And that's why we like to air shows like yours in good time too, not at 3 a.m. We give you guys a good time slot. But you have a big event coming up, of course, and I've been to it over the years. I haven't been there the last couple of years, but the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference, which is held every year, and it really is the preeminent such event in Pennsylvania, is it not?
That it is. It's really the one time of the year, Doug, where we get everybody together. And we pride ourselves on the fact that, unlike other states where different elements of the Republican Party, the conservative movement, the business community, that they're all at war with each other, that here we bring all of the above together for the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference. And obviously, being conservatives, everybody doesn't agree on everything because conservatives actually think about policy and where they want to be. So we do have a variety of opinions, but there's something that's important about bringing everybody together once a year in one place where they're face-to-face, shoulder-to-shoulder, and unlike what you see on social media where you can hide behind your keyboard and type nasty things at somebody, when you're sitting at a table having dinner with them, you tend more to have a conversation than to be attacking each other. And I've always felt that and the networking that people do at the PLC is the most important part. There's clearly many parts of the conference, but I think that's the main takeaway is that when you come to the leadership conference, you get to actually meet and talk with elected leaders, policy leaders, the leaders of various conservative organizations from around the state and also from around the whole country.
Yeah, it bothers me sometimes that folks can't disagree or can't agree to disagree, and folks think, oh, the far right, you're all in lockstep, you're all full MAGA supporters, and I don't like the idea of a president just putting in tariffs. I thought that was Congress's idea, and I've had that debate. In fact, you had somebody on today talking about the problems with tariffs and small businesses on your show today, and I don't know what your opinion is on that, but you have somebody on who talks about that, and it concerns me. And folks who listen to this show know I'm a pretty conservative guy, but you can have differences. And yeah, it does drive me nuts when people decide the only way you can disagree with somebody is come up with a fake name and post something online. And it just eating our young is what we call it in politics, of course, when the party seems to just fight among itself. I've never quite understood that approach. And I think that's where the conference seems to be entirely different.
Yeah, and we found that, like, the current edition of American Radio Journal, there are some of our contributors who are disagreeing with some of the policies of the Trump administration. And we get some negative feedback from some of the hardcore Trump people about that. Well, that's not the president's position. And our answer is we're not here to parrot the president's position. We have on our show people who are long-term conservatives, who are policy people steeped in conservative thought, sort of a libertarian bent to some of them. And we're going to talk about those policies. And if we think that the president, maybe with tariffs, has gone too far, then we feel it's our obligation to say so and explain why in an effort to hopefully get the administration on a track where there can be an effective use of tariffs. Yeah. So, yeah, there are differences of opinion. They're really minor differences of opinion when you get right down to it. But again, with PLC, you're bringing everybody together, and instead of firing emails back and forth, we have an actual conversation.
Yeah, and that's the enemy of the perfect, or the enemy of the possible is the perfect. Do I have that right? And
that's something like that. Yeah,
we used to say it like when we were lobbying, back in the day. I said, you're not going to get perfect. We got to get something. And the enemy of the perfect is possible. I don't know what it's something. Nick, work on that over there, would you, Nick? Yeah, we'll get that right, so I don't look so silly.
The perfect is the enemy of the good.
There we go. There we go. See, that's why we have Loman on.
Loman has a way with words.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, and Doug, Ronald Reagan always put it well. He said, we may agree 90% of the time. If you're with me 90% of the time, you're with me. We'll deal with the 10% of differences. Let's not fracture apart over that, because we're largely together, and we just have to find a way to move together in a common way. And I think we do that at the conference. We have some great speakers lined up. We have an expanded menu of workshops this year. We have panel presentations. So there's a whole lot to it. By the way, the conference is April 9th, 10th, and 11th. And it is at the Penn Harris Convention Center in Camp Hill, which is right outside of Harrisburg. And Thursday, April 9th, is a day of workshops all day. We have 12 different workshops that will be scheduled throughout that day. You can take your pick of which ones you want to go to. And then the conference main stage kicks off Friday the 10th. And we're going to have a special guest kickoff speaker that hopefully we're going to be able to announce next week. But the main dinner speaker Friday evening, and I think we talked about this the last time I was on your program, is Chris Ruddy, who is the founder and CEO of the Newsmax cable television network. And Doug, interestingly, Chris Ruddy is somewhat of a local guy.
Yes,
he
Tribune
started
Review.
his career at the Tribune Review.
Right, I meant reading his columns in the Trib. Absolutely. Which is shortly will be the only major paper in southwestern Pennsylvania when the Post-Gazette shuts down.
Well, there's another story.
Right.
So,
yeah. I remember reading Chris Ruddy, who, of course, was with the Trib for many, many years, and brought national prominence to it at times.
Yeah, now he founded and runs one of the biggest cable networks. I think it's like second or third, maybe third. Actually, I think at this point they've surpassed even CNN in terms of viewership because they've been growing in viewership and CNN has been losing viewers. So Newsmax has done extremely well. The other major network, of course, is Fox News. And we have Joe Concha, who is a Fox News contributor, who's going to be our lunch speaker on Saturday the 11th. So we sort of have all the major networks covered here.
There's an example of bringing two sides together of the same side, I guess. That there are times when people said, oh, Fox News is done, Newsmax has taken over, and you've got guys coming from both of them. So that's there's an example, I think, of what you try to do at the conference.
I did put one on Friday and one on Saturday to keep them apart. So, I don't want them actually crossing paths.
We'll have no steel cage death match as a result.
Yeah, right.
That would bring 10. Obviously, there are folks who have been to your conference over the years, and people are well aware of it and why one should go. Let's talk about why somebody who's never been to something like this, why they should consider going to the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference. And there's a lot of folks out there who say, I've never gone to something like this. Should I go? Why should I go? Why is this good for a brand new person to an event like this? And obviously, the goal on something like this, you want to bring people who've never been there before.
Oh, absolutely. And let me say this. The conference is open to everyone. You don't have to be, a registered Republican. You don't have to be a libertarian. You don't have to be a member of a Tea Party group. If you're just interested in conservative public policy and moving the country forward, and you're just interested, even if you don't know exactly quite how to do it, especially if you don't know quite how to get involved, that's the best reason to come, because we have, Doug, about 50 different organizations that are co-sponsors and exhibitors here. So when you come to the Leadership Conference, you are going to be able to meet with people from all sorts of organizations, ranging from national groups like the Heritage Foundation, the America First Policy Group, to local statewide groups like the Commonwealth Foundation, to Tea Party groups, to business groups. They're all going to be here exhibiting. They're going to have their people there. As I mentioned earlier, we have an expanded menu of workshops. So if there's an issue area or a couple of issue areas you're interested in, pretty much guaranteed you're going to find one of them or more that you're going to want to attend at the conference. And then, of course, the speakers get you motivated, and we have panels so that we also, not only do we motivate you, but we give you the intellectual ammunition to go out and explain and fight for your position. Yeah. So it's the total package, and if you've never been, you should go. If you don't know where to begin, this is the place to begin. And here's the best part about it. The whole thing, 3-day conference, including the dinner Friday evening, John Gizzi from Newsmax, once again, always our traditional breakfast speaker, the lunch with Joe Concha. The whole thing is $150.
Yeah,
and it's pretty hard to beat that.
No, you can't. Absolutely not. It's that's a great deal. And as I mentioned earlier, so many times I think about county parties around the state of Pennsylvania, eating their young. And this is not one of those places where people are eating their young in politics. This is where, you might have different ideas of how to do something, but overall, it's in the same, at least, direction. I remember many, many years ago, it was some county committee meeting out in the middle of the state. Congressman Klinger think how long ago that was. And there was an ongoing battle at this meeting, and he was there seething because the entire discussion was who was going to be the new recording secretary. And this was the biggest concern of the committee, that day. And finally, he just had enough. And he pointed outside, and there was somebody walking down the street, had no idea. He said, there's our next recording secretary. Can we get back now to doing something conservative? And several of us laughed, didn't go over too well with the people who thought, the debate over who should be the new recording secretary is the biggest issue for this county party. But that seems to be avoided when it comes to Lincoln Radio Journal and Lincoln Institute, rather, and the conference. That's sort of like you have to be an organization outside yourself, not just in of yourself. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. And I think one of the key advantages here, too, we're all out there day in, day out, week in, week out, and we have to do battle with the left. And let's face it, the left has become vicious, even violent at times. They don't necessarily play by the rules most of the time. They don't necessarily care about the truth or facts most of the time. So conservatives are constantly bombarded by all of this. So when you come to the leadership conference, at least for 3 days, you're sort of like in a sanctuary, Doug. You're there with other people who have the same basic values, the same basic principles, and who are out there fighting for a lot of the same things with some differences, but basically for the same thing. So it's a great morale builder because you see that you're not the only person out there fighting this fight.
Well, we can't have Loman Henry on without talking at least a little about politics at the state level. And, of course, the governor's race is this year. Of course, no surprise, Governor Shapiro is up for re-election. And the very difference between this election year for governor and the last two cycles is that it looks like the Republican Party has come around one candidate. We talked about it before. I'm sure I brought it up with you in interviews. 4 years ago, at one point, there were so many people running in the primary on the Republican side for governor. They were having a debate, and they had trouble finding enough matching podiums at the location they were doing because there were so many people running. This time, very, very different approach.
Very, very different. Yeah, I remember 4 years ago, we had all 9 of the candidates for a forum at PLC. And we don't have debates, we have forums.
Right.
Because, a debate, somebody's trying to become a winner. We're not interested in somebody winning a debate. We want a forum where you explain your policy positions. We actually had to break the forum for gubernatorial candidates into 2 different segments because we couldn't fit everybody on stage at the same time. And then 4 years previous to that, when Scott Wagner was the candidate, he went through a very vicious primary where tens of millions of dollars were spent against him in the primary and came out of the primary battered and wounded, and, of course, Josh Shapiro won. This year, we're very fortunate. The Republican Party got its act together and endorsed Stacey Garrity early last September. Stacey Garrity is the only candidate for governor, and she filed her petitions today. Over 31,000 signatures people filed to get her on the ballot. By the way, you only need 2,000, so kudos to the campaign for putting that sort of a grassroots effort together. So at the very least, we are going to enter the general election phase without a bruising primary, united behind a candidate who's going to be able to save all of her resources, financial and otherwise, for the general election campaign. And I keep telling people, okay, yeah, Josh Shapiro has a big lead in the polls right now. Well, 2 years ago, Robert P. Casey Jr. had a 20-point lead over Dave McCormick, and we ended up electing Dave McCormick. We have a long way to go, and Josh Shapiro has never been seriously challenged statewide. Doug Mastriano, whom I admire and respect, did not run a good campaign, really didn't run a campaign, when you get down to it, for governor 4 years ago. When Josh Shapiro ran for re-election as Attorney General, Republicans ran an attorney from Allegheny County who was unknown, didn't raise any money. It was an easy race for Josh. The 4 years before that, same thing, a candidate who didn't have much on the ball. So he's never really had a general election campaign with a candidate that was focused on him in a high-profile race. And this time around, he has Stacey Garrity, who, if you'll recall, Doug, 2 years ago, received the highest number of votes of any candidate, Republican or Democrat, ever running in a statewide race in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So he has a real opponent this time, and we could probably spend an hour talking about the vulnerabilities that he has, but I guess we don't really have time for that.
No, you wouldn't have time ever, I think, to talk about that. And Stacey's very available. She's been on the show dozens of times over the years since she's been elected. Stacey Treasurer Garrity, I should say. And I think, she's committed to running in the general election. Now, what does that mean? Well, I think the Republicans have had a lot of candidates who would never stop running in the primary. You get through the primary, you got to start flexing muscles you're not used to using. And you need to talk to groups that might not be cheering, jumping up and down for you. That's I think sometimes, and that's happened in statewide races, especially against Josh Shapiro, is that the Republican has to run in the general election too, not just keep running a primary election up until November. You got to reach out to the other side at times. It's not easy for a staff or for a candidate, but that's what you have to do in many cases to win in Pennsylvania. That's for sure. Well, we'll have you back, no doubt, one more time before the Pennsylvania Leadership Conference to talk more about that, Lohman. We appreciate it, and it's good to hear you on the American Radio Journal and Lincoln Radio Journal here on WMBS. And we always make sure we give you a good airtime as well. We won't air your show, by the way, 7 in the morning on Sundays. Yeah.
By the way, our website is paleadershipconference.org.
There we go.
And if people want to see the entire agenda, get all the information, and register, paleadershipconference.org is where you do that.
And you have one more speaker yet to be announced, so we'll wait and see who that is.
Yeah, we're going to be able to do that next Thursday.
That's called a tease, folks, in the business. So
yes, that's a tease.
We'll make sure I mention that as soon as we get the information. Lohman, thanks so much. As always, enjoy
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it as always. Take care.
Take care. Went a little long there. Let's take a quick break here to wrap up the first hour. We'll be right back.
Services, trust the best. Sandy Howell Notary Services, back-to-back gold medal winner for Best Notary in Fayette County. They're here for you with extended hours to fit your schedule. Sandy Howell's also the 2025 gold medal winner for Best Title Company. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 8:30, and Saturdays, 9 to 5. Call 724-564-8955 today for Sandy Howell Notary Services, where excellence is signed and sealed.
Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott in Uniontown is a proud sponsor of Sportsline. When you work with Janie, it's about going beyond investing. It's about connecting your life and your finances in a way that makes sense for you. The team partners with you through each stage of life to help you set and reach your financial goals. To learn more about the Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group at Janie, be sure to check out their website at www.lhwag.com. Laurel Highlands Wealth Advisory Group of Janie Montgomery Scott, LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
You may have noticed a new internet company knocking at your door with claims like, "I'm not here to sell you anything," or "I wouldn't lie to you." The truth is, Armstrong has played an important role in your community for decades, and we're not going anywhere. That new internet provider will probably change their name, get bought out by another company, or fold completely. Armstrong, the internet you count on, the people you trust. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com today, or anytime in the future.
When you are looking to make some extra cash for your aluminum cans, visit Cherokee Recycling, where aluminum can is king. Cherokee Recycling is open Monday through Friday 9 to 4:30 and Saturdays 8 to 12 noon, closed Sundays and holidays. Give Marcus or Rags a call today, 724-439-3228 for Cherokee Recycling, where recycling makes the most sense.
Are you looking to list or sell your house? Now is the time to let the professionals at Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty help you with all of your real estate needs. Caldwell Banker Laurel Ridge Realty has 2 convenient locations to better serve you. In Uniontown area, 724-437-7100, or in Connellsville area, 724-628-7200, and speak with one of our real estate professionals. Visit our website, caldwellbanker.com. We have been proudly serving Western Pennsylvania area for over 30 years and look forward to helping you with all of your real estate needs. Broker Paul Boyd Jr.
WMBS.
And that's a wrap for the hour 1 of the afternoon drive show here on a Tuesday. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. We'll be back. Stick around. We're going to talk to Colonel Jeff McCausland about the war in Iran.
is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump says the U.S. has destroyed mine-laying boats in the Strait of Hormuz. CBS's Linda Kenyon.
In a post on social media, President Trump wrote, quote, I am pleased to report that within the last few hours, we have hit and completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats and/or ships, with more to follow. The post comes after an earlier warning from the president that if Iran put out any mines in the strait, he wants them removed immediately. He also said if it does not, the U.S. will take action similar to what it has done to eliminate drug trafficking boats.
A U.S. official briefed on Pentagon estimates confirms to CBS News that the cost of munitions used during the first 2 days of the war with Iran was $5.6 billion. The estimate was shared with Congress this week. It's been 11 days since the fighting erupted in Iran, and with the Trump administration saying that Iran's missile launching capabilities have been reduced by 90%. CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Bahrain has reported another drone attack there. The UAE continues to say that it's intercepting drone and missile attacks. And here in Israel, I can tell you that the number of attempted attacks is down. The frequency, the intensity of attacks is down.
Someone opened fire on the U.S. consulate building in Toronto early this morning. Nobody was hurt. CBS's Chris Mavridi says the consulate has been the site of several Iran war protests lately.
The glass definitely is bulletproof, and it appears there was some minor damage to the glass on the front door of the consulate and a window next to it, and what looks like a lot of shell casings on the road in front of it.
Tornado watches are now up for western Texas until 10 p.m. Central Time and for portions of Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana until 11 Central. Georgia voters head to the polls for a special election to choose a successor in Congress to Marjorie Taylor Greene. CBS's Skylar Henry says there are 17 candidates.
12 Republicans, 3 Democrats, a Libertarian, and an Independent are all in this race. President Trump threw his support behind District Attorney Clay Fuller, who describes himself as a MAGA warrior and also an America First patriot.
A suburban Chicago nonprofit is trying to preserve a church with a special connection.
The sun shines through beautiful stained glass windows and through a hole in the roof on top of St. Mary of the Assumption in Riverdale. Why is it so special?
The first American Pope.
That's Joe Hall, who bought the property where Pope Leo XIV went to school and to church. Now that it's on the Preservation Chicago list of most endangered buildings of 2026, Hall is hoping developers will invest in the church so it can be turned into an oratory.
It'll still remain a place of worship, a place where people can come.
CBS's Allison Keyes reporting. CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Warm weather means you'll be spending more time outside. So enjoy your deck or patio with retractable or fixed awnings from Lifetime Awnings. Made in the USA with manufacturer and customers guarantees, Lifetime Awnings products last. Lifetime Awnings is veteran-owned and operated with a 10% discount to all military veterans and their families. Call Lifetime Awnings 724-554-6067 or email John, the owner, at lifetimeawningsusa@gmail.com.
Ready to update your home? Find what you need at Zen's Construction Warehouse. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will be happy to help you the old-fashioned way. Zen's is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5:30, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 2. 485 Walnut Hill Road in Continental. Zen's Construction Warehouse, 724-366-8274. Or visit Zen's Construction Warehouse's Facebook page.
Zen's Construction Warehouse. Our surplus. Your savings.
Research finds weed may offer new hope for people with common chronic liver disorder.
The condition affects about a third of the global adult population, and a study from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem finds cannabidiol, or CBD, and cannabigerol, CBG, can significantly reduce liver fat and improve metabolic health by increasing levels of a high-energy molecule stored in muscle cells. The condition, linked to obesity and insulin resistance, leaves most patients to rely on lifestyle changes that can be difficult to maintain. Unlike THC, neither compound produces a high, which makes them candidates for long-term treatment. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Italy's culture ministry says the government has bought a rare portrait by Baroque painter Caravaggio for about $35 million, one of the largest investments ever for a single war artwork. The portrait depicts a nobleman who later became Pope Urban VIII. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
The award-winning local, district, and statewide news is brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. And now the news.
And good afternoon. Sunny day, beautiful day, 74 degrees at 6:05 on a Tuesday. I'm Nick Barczyk from the Davis & Davis Studios in Uniontown. Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law, voted Fayette County's best law firm 2025. Your local station, 590 and 101.1 WMBS, the Weather Watch and Sports on the way in just a bit. Pennsylvania Treasury is going to hold a public auction for unclaimed goods 2 weeks from tomorrow, Wednesday, March 25th. These auctions are held twice a year, but for the first time, people can get a look ahead of time by visiting pookandpook.com. That's POOKANDPOOK.com. The Treasury gets things like jewelry, coins, and other keepsakes from safety deposit boxes. They will go into a vault, but after a while, the items will go to auction to make room for other things. Pennsylvania State Treasurer Stacey Garrity said the popularity of these auctions has been growing over the last few years. The state treasury is working to return more than $5 billion in unclaimed goods to more than 1 in 10 Pennsylvania residents, with the average at claim worth more than $1,000. In Fayette County, the South Connellsville Volunteer Fire Company is now not responding to emergencies in the community as of this week. The Borough Council voted to shut down the company during a meeting last night. It is not known exactly why the decision was made, but Fire Chief Jeremy Grubb says the council requested bank statements, training records, and other documents from the company. Grubb says firefighters from a department about 5 to 7 minutes away is now responding to calls in South Connellsville moving forward. And the rates of respiratory illnesses are dropping around Pennsylvania. The CDC reports this week emergency room visits from COVID and the flu are at low levels, while RSV levels also remain low around the state. Hospital visits from RSV are on the rise. Pennsylvania Attorney General Dave Sunday says his office is going to continue pursuing legal action against Live Nation Entertainment, despite a settlement with the federal government announced this week. The DOJ said Live Nation agreed to pay up to nearly $300 million to settle a lawsuit filed by more than 24 states, which alleged the company formed an illegal monopoly when they merged with Ticketmaster almost 20 years ago. Sunday said he believes the settlement falls far short of protecting consumers as Ticketmaster drove up prices and fees while limiting choices for fans, artists, and venues. The lawsuit seeks to order Live Nation's divestment from Ticketmaster, along with financial compensation for customers who paid more for tickets than they should have in a competitive market. Having to deal with difficult people could make you age faster.
That's according to a study published last month in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Researchers found that people who have people in their lives that create problems and make life more difficult have a higher biological age compared to their actual age. On average, a person aged 1.5% faster for each difficult person. I'm Michael Kastner.
More next on WMPS.
Is it time for your first home? Or time to trade up to a home that fits your lifestyle? It's time to visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with trade-in and trade-up deals. Imagine beautiful, new, energy-efficient homes packed with the features you've been dreaming about. Trade in and trade up at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51. Trade-in value toward purchase of a new home determined by resale value and evaluation by home center manager. Additional deposit may be required.
In sports, we have hockey this evening. Penguins down south taking on the Hurricanes in Raleigh. On the air with that face-off at 7 on WMBS. Today in the ACC tournament, Pitt basketball with a 1-point win over Stanford, 64-63. Panthers now get NC State tomorrow afternoon at noon. And now the weather watch for all of southwest Pennsylvania. Right now it's 74 degrees. Went up to 78 this afternoon. Overnight low at 63, up to 74 with some strong thunderstorms, it looks like, that will roll through Wednesday afternoon. Overnight low near freezing at 34, then dropping down to a high of just 43 with sun Thursday. Low sub-freezing at 28. Overnight Thursday. For the weekend, Friday up to 58. Sunny Saturday at 52. Warming up a bit to 67 on Sunday. And then maybe a wintry mix, some rain and snow Monday with the high at just 48 and the low down to 21. Right now it's 6:10 on this Tuesday evening. We're looking at sunshine for now and 74 degrees outside of our Davis & Davis studios in Uniontown. And a very good evening. I'm Nick Barczyk. Penguins again on the way in an hour. More of the Afternoon Drive Show with Doug Saltzman on the way next on your local station, 590 and 101.1 WMBS. Good evening.
The local, district, and statewide news was brought to you by Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. Is it time to find a home that fits your lifestyle? Visit Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon. You'll find special savings along with beautiful, energy-efficient homes packed with features you've been dreaming about at Clayton Homes of Bell Vernon, 4500 PA 51.
For funeral services from pre-need to at-need, burial or cremation, call Gates Funeral Home and Crematory, located at 136 North Gallatin Avenue in a beautifully restored historic home. Family owned and operated by Rick Gates, former Brownsville resident and Guyville alumni, the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory offers warmth, convenience, affordability, and ample parking. With a knowledgeable funeral director and compassionate staff, the Gates family and the Gates Funeral Home and Crematory are ready to assist you.
Everyone, this is Kelly Clark with Autoland Hyundai in downtown Uniontown. 724-208-5281. What makes buying your next vehicle for me worthwhile? I make it a very easy 5-step process. You look, you shop, you ask, you decide. And I listen. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai. 724-208-5281. 724-208-5281. Kelly Clark, Autoland Hyundai. I'll make you a good deal.
In 1986, the Firestone Insurance Agency in Normalville was started with a promise to provide clients with truthful, friendly, and courteous service. It worked. With an expanded client base, the Firestone Insurance Agency's customers are now able to choose from over 20 well-known insurance companies. So whether it be auto, home, business, or life, Firestone has you covered, and the promise to provide truthful, friendly, and courteous service is still in place. As an independent insurance agency, the Firestone Insurance Agency works for you. They do the shopping for you to save you time and a bunch of needless phone calls. Because let's face it, no one loves to shop for insurance. Call the office at 724-455-3900 or visit FirestoneInsurance.net. Can't make it to Normalville? Let the Firestone Insurance Agency bring service right to your kitchen table. The Firestone Insurance Agency, 724-455-3900 or FirestoneInsurance.net. Doing what is right for the customer, finding the most affordable rates while making sure there are no coverage gaps so you are fully protected from the unforeseen.
Unlock the energy at Live Casino Pittsburgh during the Spring ZDX giveaway. Play daily to earn entries toward our giveaway drawings on March 27th and 28th, where you could win a share of over $55,000 in prizes, or race away in a new 2026 Acura ZDX all-wheel drive EV. Get charged up for the Acura ZDX giveaway on March 27th and 28th, only at Live Casino Pittsburgh. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Experiencing symptoms of COPD? Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale has been selected to conduct a clinical research study, and participants are needed. All study-related care will be provided at no cost, and no health insurance is required. Compensation up to $2,200 for qualified participants for time and travel. To learn more, call Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281. That's Frontier Clinical Research in Scottsdale at 724-220-5281.
Third half of the Afternoon Drive Show on your local station, WMBS Uniontown. I'm Doug Saltzman. That is Nick Barczyk. We are with you until 7 o'clock tonight. No news at 7. We'll get you the update at 6:31, but we'll go straight to the Pirates. Almost. We're getting close.
We had a game last night.
That's right. The Pirates aren't playing today. That's pretty rare in spring training.
Yeah. Well, half their teams of the World Baseball Classic. Well, not two of them, at least.
So far, Paul...
Skeens pitched well last night.
Has not blown out his elbow, requiring Tommy John surgery.
But he was mowing down that lineup. It's filled with Major League All-Stars for Mexico, and he just mowed them down.
Yeah. How about the story of the high school kid who got Aaron Judge to hit into a double play? Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it's class.
A high school kid?
High school kid. Fine.
Oh. He was playing in the game last night.
No, not last night's game.
Oh, I
this,
see.
This a few days ago.
Oh, a spring game.
But
yeah.
he pitches 97 miles an hour.
Wow.
And he got Aaron Judge to hit into a double play.
That's awesome. Good for him. Draft that.
Apparently, he
kid.
got permission. It was called excused days off from school.
I was going to say, yeah.
So he could play.
His parents signed him a slip. Yeah.
So he could play in the
parental slip. Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's from. Aaron Judge obviously is American, so he played for USA. I forget where this kid
was from. They played
from.
Brazil. They played Great Britain.
Yeah, maybe from. He was a Brit.
He's a Brit.
Could be a Brit.
He's a bloke.
That's it.
He likes fish and chips.
It's and has bad teeth.
That's it.
I don't know. They always say that about British people. I don't know why
that's a stereotype, Doug, but I'm sure it's true.
How dare me?
How dare you?
I think,
stereotypes are true. That's why we use them.
In some cases, I suppose they are. So it's interesting. Of course, there are the naysayers. Oh, this is a stupid thing. They shouldn't be playing in this.
And the fans last night were getting into it. It was great.
Right up there.
Great
the
atmosphere.
Olympics. Right.
Yeah.
Sid, although I don't know what Malkin, I thought he was past the days of taking stupid penalties.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was really dumb.
This is dumb. And let's hope
they suspended 5 games.
They can survive this. And, the team didn't come to his defense and say, we're going to challenge this.
No, but that game against Boston, they came back. Manf had 2 goals, and
it's amazing.
Carolina tonight.
They're doing very well. A lot of season left, but if they make the playoffs, it's going to be because they've gotten so many points in overtime.
Right, which has been their
14
bugaboo.
14 points
That's right,
in overtime.
absolutely. And they struggle in shootouts, but no shootouts in the playoffs. So.
Right, they're not. They can't seem to win when it gets to OT, although they did the other day.
Right,
but they're getting a lot of points out of it.
Yeah, right.
It'll be good to have both of them back and. I didn't quite understand what they're thinking. Yeah, you get emotional out there on the ice, I suppose. But to do what he did, which I'm glad he only got 5 game suspension.
Yeah, that was dumb. A veteran like him who's been in the league forever, he's 38 or whatever he is.
And obviously he was attempting to hurt a guy.
He was, yes.
Yeah,
blatantly.
That was just stupid.
Yeah, it was dumb.
I didn't
just stupid. That's all the analysis you need.
We are... but what are we now? 47 days away from the draft.
Oh, the NFL draft. The
Pittsburgh.
ticker is on I don't know. It's on that thing in Mountain Washington. That billboard.
No, I think it's Roberto Clemente Park.
Oh, is that right?
It's on that grassy area right between Acrisure Stadium and PNC.
Well, there's
Park.
that one, but I think there's a bigger one maybe somewhere.
Oh, is there? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know about that one.
There's
I've just driven past the one that's down there on the North Shore.
Right, there is one on the north side, but the frenzy is ongoing, and people are excited to get drunk and scream and yell at Roger Goodell.
Hey,
and
you've got a house, you could rent it out if you wanted to. For
absolutely,
heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
Move in with your cousin somewhere and split the profits of renting out your home.
Right. Good luck getting around town that weekend.
They are. If you're going to the event, take a bus, take a subway.
Yeah. Walk. No. Take
you
a
could
fat
walk,
bus.
depending where you are.
Get
I think
a
my
fat bus.
daughters are going to get a kick out of it. I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. I may go down. We'll see.
It's even get some. There must be some media passes.
Absolutely.
Available.
We're an affiliate. We're VIPs.
I think.
I mean, we're not very important, but we're somewhat important. As Doug Saltzman is doing something there, he's hacking up a lung.
Cutting off the mic so I don't cough into the microphone.
That's right. But yeah, it's going to be a spectacle and probably the biggest sporting event Pittsburgh will ever host. I doubt we'll get the Olympics or the Super Bowl. So this is awesome.
Although it would be good to have a Super Bowl in the snow. They need.
Well, I don't know about that, but great economic driver for the city, for the region. This draft.
Yeah, they say it's going to be the biggest thing ever to hit. Yeah, we don't quite have the facilities. The hotel rooms to do like a national convention, Democrat or Republican.
Right. Yeah, Philadelphia bid for the DNC, I saw.
Yeah, they have it. They've had it before. I was at the one in Philly back, when was it? 2008, I think.
Oh, I see.
Is that right? 2004. I forget.
Those conventions are insane, right?
Pandemonium.
You on the floor of the convention?
Yeah. Just not as a delegate, but just managed to get my way on there.
Wow. You have a bullhorn? Were you yelling something?
No, I just say... So I could answer the question someday, was I on the floor of the convention?
Right.
Yeah, you got to like speeches. You sit there and listen to speeches all day long.
All day long. I mean, some people are into that. I mean, it saves you an Ambien, I guess. That's the sleeping pill, is it not?
I suppose.
Might have called our guest. Well, the time flies when you're BSing.
That's right. Give a call to our next guest at 6:35. Dick Joel's going to join us. He is a well-known local businessman, a political leader and a public affairs person, been involved in so many organizations. At one point, he was president of Grove City College. He was later on the Gaming Control Board, and a good guy who knows public affairs and public policy. We'll talk to him at 6:35. p.m. Of course, the biggest news, of course, worldwide right now, say that 3 times fast, is the war in Iran. And we're going to be coming up in just a few moments here, talking to Dr. and retired Army Colonel Jeff McCausland to get his take on what's happening over there. Of course, the Trump administration is very good at exaggerating things, and even Major Mike Lyons had mentioned that when we talked to him last week. But joining us right now on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital talk line, military and military analyst, Dr. and Colonel Jeff McCausland joining us today. Colonel, thanks very much. We haven't talked to you since this war kicked off. We don't get to talk to you as much as we'd like to anymore. And that's nothing to do with you. New rules, I suppose. But it's good to talk to you today about the latest here. Of course, the Trump administration is very well known for exaggerating things. But I guess to be very blunt, they are taking it to Iran, them and the U.S. and Israel. I guess that's not an exaggeration, correct?
No, there's no doubt about it. We've now done several thousand targets we've struck in Iran. The war has now stretched all the way from Cyprus to the shores of Sri Lanka, north to Azerbaijan, and south to Oman. There have been at least 7 Americans killed. There have been about 140 who have been wounded. And we know in Iran itself, over 1,200 people have been killed and several hundred killed in the region around it. And beyond, of course, the war in Iran and the striking of targets there, Iran has retaliated against 12 countries in the region. And we've also seen a renewal of fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, which has resulted in about 500 people being killed and 500,000 people now displaced just in that country alone.
Yeah. This retaliation against those 12 countries, now, they came out just recently before the new Ayatollah was elected, and we put that one in parentheses. They apologized almost for those attacks, but it's continuing. I don't quite understand that approach. Was it just one left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing in Iran at that point?
Well, I think it shows you sort of the shattering of the leadership at the top, at least temporarily. One could argue that this was a plan that was already made. The Iranians expected some kind of an attack. They'd been attacked last June. They expected perhaps a future attack, and perhaps they had already done contingency planning that almost was an automatic response where they struck. But it seems that their strategic thinking was flawed. They thought, I think, that these countries, when struck, would then place pressure on the United States to cease and desist and bring this war to a close quickly, whereas what has actually happened, I think, is more of a consolidation of those Gulf and Arab countries against Iran. Now, whether that will be sustainable or not over time remains to be seen. But you're quite right, Doug, that in the aftermath, they created a three-person triumvirate to rule the country temporarily until this council of clerics could meet and select a new leader. In that regard, the president at the time, President Pezeshkian, did apologize to those Gulf countries that were struck and he said he was focused really on striking American bases in those countries from which the United States was attacking. That was then subsequently rejected, if you will, by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and he was kind of put in his place. And now we know that they have selected a new leader, and that leader, of course, is the son of the Grand Ayatollah Khamenei, who most people believe is a hardliner and probably will take at least as hard an approach as his father did.
Yeah. Was it a surprise at all that it would be a hardliner that would replace the former Ayatollah? I mean, they're not going to have a reformer come in at this point while the war is going on, correct?
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. I mean, hope is not a method when it comes to wars and strategy. I think there are many people that hoped you get somebody like that, but that did not occur. There was a thought that the foreign minister, Larijani, who is somewhat more moderate, and his brother, who's a cleric, might come in as the Grand Ayatollah. But this certainly shows an act, really, I would always call it, of defiance on the part of the Iranians. Mr. Trump had even said that when there was suggestions that this guy might be considered, that he was unacceptable to Mr. Trump. And obviously, furthermore, it's a statement on the strength, I think, of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, in which he's very closely connected to. One might also consider the fact that this particular guy, so far in this war, has lost his father, his mother, his wife, and his daughter. So just from a personal standpoint, I'm not sure he's the right guy if you're looking for somebody to negotiate with right now.
Yeah, and it seems this might be an exaggeration. It's almost something out of a movie. Is he the most targeted person on the planet right now? I don't. Is that an exaggeration? Is that too movie-esque, too Hollywood, or is he actually the most targeted person in the world?
Perhaps, but one has to think of the following. So-called targeted killings. If you discuss targeted killings as a strategy, and I was involved in some discussions about that one time, but I can't go into too much detail on this telephone, but I will tell you one of the conclusions was the following. Well, there were several conclusions. One is if you take out the leadership, that may look good, and that may cause your opponent an awful lot of confusion, but at the same time, then you get kind of a spasmodic response, and who in fact can say, take out the leadership, who can say I quit, And then second of all, beware what you don't know because it might be worse than what you got. I actually met with a bunch of Israelis who were involved in such things one time, and they said many years ago they took out a leader of a terrorist organization, and then the guy who came in behind him was every bit as bad, if not worse. They would have been better off with the guy they took out. So you don't know what you don't know when you start talking about these things, but ostensibly, one would think the Israelis in particular, because he is the son of the Grand Ayatollah, would focus energies on trying to locate him and take him out.
And previous foreign strikes done by the Trump administration have been relatively short. However, this war seems to be different. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of the Department of Defense or Department of War, whatever we're calling it, has said it'll only end with unconditional surrender. And then it was said that they don't actually have to unconditionally surrender for it to be an unconditional surrender. I don't know what that means. I thought unconditional surrender had to be an agreement of the actual parties at war, not just one side.
Yeah, forgive me for kind of chuckling in the background because this is an enormously serious topic, but we're talking about Mr. Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. He can call himself what he likes, but by the law, he's Secretary of Defense.
Right.
He's not a serious person in my mind, and you just underscored how this guy's not a serious person. Because you're exactly right. Unconditional surrender means the other side accepts that, and you get to impose your will and totality upon them. Okay? And furthermore, when you do that, you've now painted them into a corner. And the question becomes, why would they surrender until they're absolutely destroyed?
Right.
Okay? Unconditional surrender was basically what we agreed in 1943 in Casablanca with respect to the war against Japan and the war against Germany. Took us 2.5 years and several million casualties later to effect that particular outcome.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, and we had a guest on last week who kind of reminded us, this is not a small country. There are 90 million people in Iran,
right.
Biggest country in the Middle East. And I think sometimes, certainly I would fall in that category, that we'd think they fall under, this is the Middle East, these are small countries, how many people are living in these countries. But and obviously, similar perhaps to Japan in World War II, the leadership considers every man, woman, and child a combatant in a war like this, correct?
Yeah, and the literature about World War II in Japan is instructive in a way because the emperor was God on earth to the Japanese people. The Ayatollah is God on earth to the Iranian people, at least to a large percentage of them. And there was an argument at the end of World War II on whether or not we should either take out the emperor or demand that he surrender, and then he, in fact, is put on trial and prosecuted for the conduct of the war. And that was a big debate in the Truman administration. The decision was made not to do that because, frankly, to do that, to take out God's representative on earth, unconditional surrender, would have driven the Japanese to prosecute the war to the very end. And I've seen the war plans for the physical invasion of the Japanese islands, and we estimated over 1 million casualties.
It would have tripled the casualties, correct?
What's that?
It would have tripled the casualties, Americans.
Oh, easy. And it extended the war for at least a year. And the only reason the war came to an end in Japan was because of a radio broadcast by the emperor, I emphasize once again, God on earth, to the Japanese people telling them to surrender because the Japanese imperial military leadership was prepared to fight to the end to every man, woman, child on the island.
And again, that was the first time the Japanese people literally ever heard his voice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's been reported the first time they ever saw him on TV. It didn't quite work out. There weren't TVs then. But yeah, that was the first time they ever heard his voice as we talked with Colonel Jeff McCausey.
But we got going here, to come back to Mr. Hegseth and the president, that is what is the end state? We've never gotten a clear picture on why this war needed to happen now. Yes, we have a long history, of course, of a twilight conflict with Iran that stretches back to 1979, the hostage crisis in Desert One, and the bombing of the Marine barracks in Lebanon in 1983, etc. But there's no explicit explanation of the imminent threat posed by Iran that caused this to occur now. I've seen 10 different imminent threats. And second of all, I've never seen what the real outcome is. Unconditional surrender, we've already discussed that. Something short of that. I mean, the president said it was almost done. Maybe it's not almost done. So if you, as Yogi Berra once said, if you don't know where you're going, any road is going to get you there. It's pretty hard to create a strategy where you match military force with a national interest and objectives if you can't articulate what the national interests and objectives are.
Yeah. How close was, and we'll wrap up with this, you've given us some extra time, Colonel, we appreciate it. Yeah. How close was Iran to being able to strike the U.S. homeland with a ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile?
There are varying estimates, but I've seen no estimate that's any shorter than a decade. And that also presupposes that they had any interest in creating an ICBM, and there's been no evidence that they, in fact, have been doing that. Yeah. So that really was never really truly a threat.
Yeah. Again,
now, could they have threatened U.S. interests in the region? Could they have threatened U.S. allies? They can do that right now. They've been able to do that for years, quite frankly, and U.S. bases in the region, which we've had for many years. But physical threat of the homeland with a ballistic missile, nobody's even been able to prove this on the drawing boards, unless there was any kind of serious effort to develop something like that by the Iranians.
Retired Army Colonel, CBS News, military national security analyst, also founder, CEO of Diamond Leadership and Strategy, Jeff McCausland. Colonel, thank you very much for your service to our country, as always. And, of course, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your analysis on what's going on. No doubt we'll be checking back in with you when we can from time to time.
Thanks.
Thank you. Colonel Jeff McCausland joining us on the WVU Medicine Uniontown Hospital Talk Line. Dick Jewell's going to join us coming up here. We'll get his analysis even on this topic and others on the Afternoon Drive Show. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. 72 degrees right now outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios. In a few days from now, the highs are going to be in the 30s and 40s.
That's the weather in southwest Pennsylvania, right. Especially this time of year.
Yeah, for March, that's for sure. Stick around. We'll be back.
Here's big news for local golfers. The Uniontown Country Club is now the South Union Township Municipal Golf Course. Recently purchased by South Union Township, this investment ensures the course stays open, well-maintained, and ready to be enjoyed by residents and visitors alike for generations to come. And here's the best part. This is your course. South Union residents receive exclusive resident pricing, including preferred tee times, discounted memberships, reduced green fees, and 10% savings. Make 2026 the year you elevate your game. Stop by the Pro Shop at 25 Bailey Lane in Uniontown to secure your membership today. Open play, great rates, and a course you'll love. Now proudly the South Union Township Municipal Golf Course, formerly the Uniontown Country Club. Don't miss your tee time. Join today.
You may have noticed a new internet company knocking at your door with claims like, "I'm not here to sell you anything," or "I wouldn't lie to you." The truth is, Armstrong has played an important role in your community for decades, and we're not going anywhere. That new internet provider will probably change their name, get bought out by another company, or fold completely. Armstrong, the internet you count on, the people you trust. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com today or anytime in the future.
Go to Ford of Uniontown and trade me in!
It's Dominic Carbone with Jessica Caringla with your 7-time President Award-winning Ford of Uniontown. Truck Month is on the horizon and we're kicking this thing off with a bang. Running all the way to the end of March and we're talking massive savings.
How massive?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Take up to $8,000 off select F-150s or $6,000 off with interest rates at 2.9 for 60 months, 3.9 for 72, and only 4.9 for 84 months.
And that's not all. We got deals on Super Duties, Mavericks, and Rangers. Just stop, click, or call for details. Here at Ford of Uniontown, our commitment is to make sure you have the best experience, not only buying a vehicle, but getting it serviced as well. That's why we offer online maintenance appointments and free pickup and delivery.
Your truck knows, shouldn't you? That's Ford of Uniontown on the hill across from Applebee's. 724-425-5980 or fordofuniontown.com.
Price excludes taxes and transfer fees, must finance with Ford Credit, and not all buyers will qualify.
Tune in each Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. right here on WMBS 590 AM and FM 101.1 for Garden Talk Radio. It's the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, topic-focused, guests from across the country, and answering your garden questions. Send your questions in now to gardentalkradio@gmail.com or call anytime to 1-800-927-SHOW. That's every Saturday morning from 6 to 7 a.m. right here on WMBS 590 AM and FM 101.1. Catch the replay Monday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m.
Now, you don't have to travel too far for medical marijuana products. Go to Local Leaf in Scottsdale for a wide variety of locally grown and locally sourced products, plus your questions answered on medical marijuana, qualifying medical conditions, or how to register for your medical card. Local Leaf by PHG off Route 119 in Scottsdale, 412-417-4964. Online at localleafpa.com. Local Leaf, your medical marijuana dispensary with locally grown and locally sourced products in Scottsdale.
Feeling lucky? Your next big jackpot is waiting for you. Visit the casino at Nemacolin in Farmington, PA for the ultimate casino experience featuring the hottest table games, daily promotions, big-time giveaways, and an exciting variety of premium slots. And after, celebrate your big win with a juicy burger at the Royale while you watch the big game. Hotel packages available. Visit CasinoNemacolin.com for more information. The Casino at Nemacolin. Game on. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the Afternoon Drive Show on a very, very mild Wednesday or Tuesday out there. By the way, we had a call in earlier to the station asking about a contest during John Barry's show today. John Barry's show, yeah. And in fact, the winner was Ron, R-O-N, Ron Barry's show today. There was a winner of a contest. That winner was John Roll. There was a question whether the winner was announced, so congratulations to John Roll. That was announced during the show. And just wanted to pass that along. So thank you for the fellow who called in saying, hey, I didn't hear who won. So
congratulations John. Yep.
Yeah, I combined their names there.
There you go.
Ron Barry's show here. The lighter side.
The lighter side, yes.
We're
Very
light
light.
here. We talk heavy topics, but we're kind of light.
We don't take ourselves seriously.
No,
we take
don't.
the topic seriously, but look at us. How could we, take ourselves seriously?
Exactly. I want to thank Colonel Jeff McCausland, who knows his stuff when it comes to what's going on worldwide, especially from a military and national security standpoint. Retired Army colonel out of Pennsylvania. He lives. He's out in the Carlisle area, which is just a little
near Philly?
Southwest of Harrisburg.
Oh, Harrisburg, wonderful, the state capital.
That's here's a piece of worthless information.
That's the best type.
That's where the turnpike originally stopped.
Is that right?
It started in Irwin, went to Carlisle.
Wow.
People said it didn't go far enough. It didn't start far enough in the west.
And what's the smallest interstate in America? In Pittsburgh, right?
Interstate 579, which goes from the Liberty Bridge across the, a lot of people call that one section the Crosstown Boulevard.
Right.
And then goes across the Veterans Bridge to 279 on the North Shore.
Man, the more you know, the less you want to know.
You know who I miss? And
who do you miss,
he's
Doug?
no longer with us. Is Dr. Knowledge.
Oh, Dr. Knowledge and his lovely wife, Misinformation.
I did not realize
lovely
when
couple.
he would be on our show. He was in his mid to late 90s.
Wow. He was still churning it out. And he loved what he did, and he knew a lot of stuff. I'm sure he read voraciously. Like that word?
Voracious?
Voracious.
I thought it was ferocious.
Well, ferociously.
Ferocious is like
can you
a
read
tiger.
ferociously?
Yeah, I think it's voracious.
Yeah, voracious.
Now don't ask me.
He read a lot. He read good. How about
He
that?
was a really good reader.
He read good.
So I've lost track of what I was talking about.
Sorry. Rest in peace, Dr. Knowledge.
That's right. I have trouble keeping a train of thought. I can barely come up with a caboose once in a while.
Oh, caboose.
A caboose.
Hey.
I love trains. I love model railroads. And I wish I lived in the era where trains were king.
Right.
Pittsburgh, this corner of the state is not really a train town.
No.
As Philly or Chicago. Or
Amtrak Joe, former President Biden.
Right. My former boss, Arlen Specter, used to ride the train back and forth to Philadelphia when he was going. So
Can you imagine those conversations? You eavesdropped on a few of them, I'm sure.
He caught the train to Philly, and then I guess Joe Biden, when he was a senator, would catch it in Wilmington.
Wow.
And they'd ride down together. Now, they both sent staffers to hold the seats they wanted. Like, they were like angled seats. And
You held the seats for them?
No, I never did that. But they would send low-level staffers to hold these seats. And this is before there were cell phones. So once in a while, a senator would say, I'm not leaving right now. Well, there was no way to get a hold of that kid and say, hey, give up the seat, get off the train.
So he just sat on the train all day.
And then suddenly he'd be on his way to wherever. And more than once, the kid did not have money to pay for a ticket. And so they had to work that one out. But they would hold. You think they could have figured out a different way to do it?
You think?
Because they take your ticket once you get off. Now it's probably different. But
I'm sure it's all digital.
You didn't do the train. You didn't pay until you actually were on the train.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the days,
Well,
Doug,
we're
of
hoping
wine
to
and
hear
roses.
back from Dick Jewell. We're going to take a 1-minute break here.
All right.
When we come back, let's see if we can track down Dick Jewell.
Tune in to WMBS the second and fourth Thursdays monthly at 10:30 a.m. for an all-new radio program with Pete Crackle, Director of Clinical Operations and Pharmacist at Nickman's Drug. Pete will explore a myriad of health-related topics and talk about how a strong relationship with your pharmacist is vital for your best health. So mark your listening calendars and be sure to catch the all-new show the second and fourth Thursday each month. Need a pharmacy? Visit Nickman's Drug today at any of their 7 area locations.
CareerLink is your one-stop resource for employment and training-related services. Visit CareerLink and you'll have access to many programs and agencies for assistance with economic, educational, and job-related needs. For more information on all the programs available to you, contact CareerLink at 724-434-JOBS. That's 724-434-JOBS.
Mountaintop Title and Notary can handle all of your motor vehicle and PennDOT needs, such as titles, plates, renewal, registrations, and all notary needs. Tina Nicholson of Mountaintop Title and Notary can also handle ATV and boat titles and also does income taxes. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and appointments can be made for after hours and Saturdays. Mountaintop Title and Notary with a new location at 655 Nelson Road in Farmington, the only place you need to go for all title, notary, and tax work. Call Tina at 724-984-1514 for the most professional services around.
WMBS.
The Who, Eminence Front on your local station, WMBS, on this Tuesday evening, 6:43. 71 degrees outside of our Davis and Davis studios. And let's take a look at that WMBS weather watch. It's a warm day today. Right now we are at, as I mentioned, 73, went up to 78 this afternoon, overnight low at 62. For Wednesday, could see some rain tomorrow, going up to 74. Some strong showers and storms that could be severe in the afternoon Wednesday. Overnight low dropping down to freezing 34. Quite a change there temperature-wise. Only up to 43 Thursday, Friday at 58, Saturday at 50. Penguins down in Raleigh taking on the Hurricanes this evening. That's on the air at 7 with the face-off on WMBS. Penguins with a comeback win against Boston on Sunday. They were down 3-0, came back to beat the Bruins in overtime. Final there was 5-4. Penguins on the quest to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. Have not made it for 3 years now. Pitt basketball with a win today as well in the ACC tournament. A 1-point win over Stanford. Panthers, maybe they can make a run, win the whole tournament, and get an automatic bid to the NCAAs. That's their only shot of making the NCAA tournament.
You can get in even if you don't win your conference, but you have to have a pretty good regular season record. They have not.
Right, yeah.
So
The automatic bids go to if you win the conference tournament,
Right.
but if you have a great regular season, which they have not, they have a losing record, so they have to win this tournament. It's unlikely, but you never know. They can make a run. They play NC State tomorrow.
Robert Morris made it last year.
Right, Bobby Moe.
2 years before, Duquesne got in
Yeah,
and
the
won the
Dukes.
first round.
Right, they did win the first round
Last
game.
year, I went up to Cleveland to see the Duquesne women in the WNIT. Which is it's different. Women WNIT is not the second tier. The NIT is a little different for women, I
Right,
guess. And,
right.
Duquesne back in 1955. Here's some good knowledge.
Oh, 55.
They won the national championship, which was then the NIT.
That's awesome. You don't have to tell the listeners about the 1955 NIT. We all know about it, Doug.
That's right. The other night, of course, was Chuck Cooper night at Duquesne University, the game I was telling about earlier.
That was the
if you weren't
comeback,
with
the
us.
30-point comeback?
30-point comeback.
That's
They won the
amazing.
game. Chuck Cooper, of course, played at Duquesne. Their facility is called the UPMC Chuck Cooper Fieldhouse.
Yeah, and they have
Arena.
great facilities, right?
Oh,
Renovated.
it's great. Yeah,
Beautiful.
they renovated it. It looks like an NBA facility, it's just a little smaller.
Nice.
But Chuck Cooper, of course, played at Duquesne, and he was the first African American to play, first black man to play in the NBA.
That's amazing.
Went to Duquesne. This is what we call filler because we're waiting to hear back from Dick Jewell.
Dick Jewell's a busy man.
We scheduled to join. That's right.
I don't think he's deliberately ignoring us. Maybe he is.
Hey, he could be.
He has the right. I mean,
he wouldn't ignore you, Nick. I mean,
No,
he'd
absolutely
ignore-
not, no.
ignore me, for heaven's sakes. But if we don't get him on today, we'll get him on another time.
That's right.
And we'll make sure we get him back on because at this time we won't have a lot of time left. And this is one of those questions we don't usually ask on the air. Do we have any commercials left?
no, the breaks are all
The breaks
spent.
are all done.
They're all in a can.
We can go
just
right up to 7 o'clock.
fill until 7. Talk about what you're having for dinner, what Barney Miller you're watching tonight, whatever you want.
And the puck drops for the Penguins sometime between 7 and 7:30.
It'll be not right at 7 exactly.
I guess they
Probably
do have exact
7:20.
times, don't they? It seems to
Yes,
vary.
yeah, it does, but it's 7 in theory only, in name
That's
only.
right.
It's
That's
going to
what-
be later,
when
but
you see
stick
a
with us.
commercial for the Super Bowl, which or any sporting event, they never tell you the time the actual first pitch is. They give
No.
you a pregame show.
Well, the first pitch of the Super Bowl, you may be waiting a while
would
for
be
that.
That'd be a long time for that one. But we do tell the actual times around here.
We try as close as we can. Now the
especially-
Penguins are hitting the west coast, the left coast, as you like to say, and they're 10 o'clock start Thursday. I'll be here late. I
Yes, you
got to
will
put
be
on the
here late.
coffee.
That's for sure. And
Yeah.
at least you have some sense of it, not like the old days when they were just. I guess in the playoffs, there's endless overtimes.
Endless. The game can be 6 hours.
Yeah,
Sometimes they are.
A few years ago, they won a playoff game with about a minute left in the third overtime,
Right.
20-minute overtime period. While we have this time, let's take a look at that forecast. 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. High today,
Wow.
just about the same as it was today. High 73 tomorrow. How about
Seems
this?
likely it'll rain then.
Overnight, Wednesday into Thursday, the low is 32.
Wow.
Which is 20 degrees milder, colder, chillier than it was will be tonight. 55 the high on Thursday. Very windy on Friday with a high of 56. The overnight low Thursday to Friday, 31. 30 degrees for the low Saturday morning, high of 47, then back up to the mid-60s. 60 for the high next Monday with a chance of snow overnight. High on Tuesday, a week from today, 30 degrees.
Wonderful.
As Nick said earlier, this is classic, of course, March weather. The high
Doug
today
Saltzman sleeping weather.
is 27 degrees above average today.
Yeah.
The high today, 74. Feels like doesn't feel like 71. It feels like 71.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the feel like it's exactly the same temperature.
Glad we cleared that up.
What is feel like temperature? I really never fully understood.
No,
what
nobody
that is.
knows.
It used
Something
to-
they made up.
It used to be called wind chill.
What is Doppler radar? That's another one.
Yeah,
Have we met Doppler? Is it named after someone, John Doppler?
Maybe it is.
He went to Penn State, studied meteorological sciences.
Did he really?
No, I'm just making all this up, Doug.
I was
He's
pretty
eating
impressed.
it. He's eating it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah,
I should have
yeah.
kept going with that.
Okay, here we go. And how often do you hear this on the radio?
What's that?
I'm talking into
phone?
into Google right
Siri,
now.
Google.
Yeah, here we go.
Alexa.
Who invented Doppler radar?
Man, Dick Joel. You could have bailed us out, man. Now we're talking about Doppler radar.
Okay, here we go. The Doppler effect was proposed by Austrian physicist and mathematician Christian Andreas Doppler.
Oh, what a great name. Doppler. Not John Doppler. Close, though.
Yeah, had he survived his death at this point, he'd have been about 223 years old.
Wow, he still looks great.
Yeah, he was born in 1803, published a theory, and I guess that's what this idea of Doppler came from. On the colored light of the double stars, which suggested that observation frequency of waves depends on relative motion of the source and observer.
And Doug's not reading that. He came up with that all by himself.
All by myself. So that's
Just from memory, from reading over the years.
That's Doppler Doppler radar. So, Nick, why don't you take over for a few moments here, and we'll be right back because Dick Jewell, our next guest, is calling on my cell phone.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thanks, Doug.
Turn
All
my
right.
mic.
Yeah, Dick Jewell's phoning Doug, so we'll try to get to the bottom of that. But yeah, I was not aware of the origins of Doppler radar, but it's nice to know that. Doppler radar is used by many of the local TV stations. I'm always wondering what it is, and it's funny, these local TV stations, the technology they use. Of course, they have to break stories of the breaking news desk. We don't have one of those here at WMBS. About 10 minutes away from Penguins, a puck drop. Well, we'll go to the network at 7. We don't know when exactly the game will start. Probably 10 after, maybe 15 after. On the way tomorrow night, March Madness, I guess the first stages of it, the conference tournaments are underway. Patriot League Championship, Boston and Lehigh. Now, that'll be a riveting matchup. BU and Lehigh. Lehigh's out of Pennsylvania, I believe.
Yes,
so.
it is, out in the southeast.
Yeah.
That was Dick Jewell calling on my cell phone. So if you're watching us on Facebook Live, you saw he apologizes. He had his phone off and was wondering why we hadn't called him.
That's right. That's all right.
So
It
no
happens.
problem. We'll have him back on, for heaven's sakes. Tomorrow on the show, we are going to be checking in with Professor Burwood Yost.
Oh, great
Of course,
name.
Of course, with Franklin and Marshall College. The
Not
latest
quite as
polling.
good as Fletcher McClellan, but
Yeah, we haven't had him on in a while.
he's grading papers in the south of France with wine.
Fletcher McClellan.
Fletcher McClellan.
Yeah, we should have him on. He was
He's giving a lecture on the theory of relativity or something.
Yeah, he's a political analyst, professor
everyone.
of political science. We'll talk. Well, you should talk to him perhaps next week. I keep promising to have somebody on from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just haven't been able to work it out.
Oh.
So tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier, we were hoping to talk with Coach Drew Joyce, who is the head coach of Duquesne University men's basketball, which will be in the tournament here shortly for the.
A10. is it?
A10.
Yeah, the
that's
Atlantic
it, A10.
10.
Atlantic 10. And he's not available tomorrow, wasn't available today. In fact, today I was told that he couldn't do the interview today because he had to go to a donor's dinner. You don't pass up
You're
the
not
donor's
missing that.
dinner.
No, you got to go to that.
That's
Get all the
right.
money you can.
Yeah, that's right. And he's not available tomorrow, so we hope to talk to an assistant coach about the Duquesne Duke season. Tough for a team like Duquesne, like Robert Morris. Robert Morris last year made the tournament. They lost in the first round. The next day, 5 starters and 2 backups left the school.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's really disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unusual
No,
for
not
players
anymore.
to play at 4 different schools.
Yeah, the NIL transfer portal, it's amazing.
There's
College sports, it's the Wild West now.
There's no rule at all. And it's a shame when you have a great school like St. Francis out near Loretto, Pennsylvania, which forever has been a Division I school, and realized they could not compete. So they didn't just drop to Division II. They're going to Division, I think it starts next year. D3, which is a big-time drop. I mean, that's a big difference. Not that there's anything wrong with Division III. There's lots of great schools, but it's a far cry from Division I. You thought they
Right.
would have gone to Division II. Would have made
sense.
We had the brother who's the president of the university on with us last year, and talking about his decision, not his, but the school's decision to drop down to Division I or Division III.
Yeah.
I think I would have gone to Division II at least.
Yeah.
I mean, Division II schools, I'm trying to think of it. Seton Hill is a Division
They are.
II school.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of some Mercyhurst, I believe, Gannon up in Erie.
Gannon.
I think those are Division II
Rich
schools.
Gannon. No.
IUP, Indiana University of
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
That's a good one.
Is the Division II school.
Jimmy Stewart went there. No, but he's from there.
He's from there, and the airport's named for him.
The Jimmy Stewart Museum.
Yeah, I've been to the Jimmy.
Absolutely.
Believe that comes as a shock. I'm sure that Doug has been to the.
That is a shock.
To the, I almost said Jerry Lewis, the Jimmy Stewart. I'm sure there's a Jerry Lewis museum.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he was a lot.
Yeah, he was
the Nutty Professor, right?
Oh yeah, and of course he was a great partner of Dean Martin until they had their spat.
Oh, a spat. Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin
Yeah.
spat. World famous.
Okay, where's Dean Martin from?
Not New Jersey. That's Springsteen and Sinatra.
Yeah, it's my nephew.
Pennsylvania, is he?
Steubenville.
Oh, Steubenville.
They still have
OHIO.
They still have a
the Burb of the Berg.
You're right. That's a commercial they used to run.
Yeah.
They still have a Dean Martin Day every year.
Of course they
in
do.
Steubenville, home of Franciscan University
of
Steubenville.
And Perry Como's from Cannonsburg.
And who else is from Cannonsburg?
Oh
The other
gosh,
singer.
we talked about this.
Yes.
Bobby Vinton.
Is it? I think it is.
Bobby Darin. One of those. Yeah.
Because you go into the McDonald's there, and there's pictures of him everywhere. Because he visited one day.
Wow.
And
bought everyone a Big Mac.
And right in downtown Cannonsburg at City Hall, there is a great statue of Perry Como. What did he do in Cannonsburg before he became a singer?
Oh, Doug, I don't know.
He was a barber.
He was a barber.
Yes, he was.
Like Floyd. like on Andy Griffith before he had the stroke.
Ooh, boy needs a haircut. Ooh. Yeah, he had a stroke. He was not able to walk or stand, and so they kept him on the show, but they had him sitting all the time.
That's right.
You did not
little tidbits.
You did not notice that.
Andy Griffith Show trivia. That's what happens when our guests don't call in.
This is probably getting more interest, anyways.
Oh, absolutely.
No offense to
to Dick Jewell, but this is fascinating stuff. Why did Floyd the Barber always sit during Andy Griffith?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Knowledge, whose name I can't even think of right now.
That's his name.
Charles something, who has since passed away.
Sumner.
We enjoyed having Charles on the show.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if his missus is still doing the book. I should check in with her. He was Charles Reichblum, Dr. Knowledge, knowledgeinanutshell.com was his website.
Wonderful.
I should check in with his widow to see if they're still continuing that. My daughters have bought me those books over the years for Father's Day and Christmas.
Right.
Classic dad gifts.
Sure.
And it's one of those great coffee. Yeah, knowledgeinanutshell.com. I guess I shouldn't say that till I know for sure the website's still working. I'm guessing it is. I don't know that 100%. But yeah, Dick Jewell, again, apologized, had his phone off, was wondering why we weren't calling him. And so that happens.
It does. He needed a break. He wasn't in the mood to talk to us, and I don't blame him. No, I believe his story. His phone was off. He wanted a nice, quiet evening, and we were ruining that for him.
Yeah, the Penguins play tonight. They are in Raleigh taking on the Hurricanes. We're going to go to that pregame show at 7 o'clock. Puck will drop about 5 or 10 after the hour. Yeah, this would have been the fourth year in a row they did not make the playoffs. At this point, it certainly looks like they're going to.
Yes.
I mean, the playoffs.
Now, will they win there? We'll see, but at least they're getting there, which is great.
The playoffs in the NHL are the easiest ones to get into, but the toughest ones to win.
I would agree with that, yeah.
You literally could. If you win the Stanley Cup, you could play as many as 28 games.
Yeah, it's amazing.
In the playoffs.
Right.
There was a time when there were only 21 teams in the league. 16 teams made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Silly.
Yeah, it is silly.
At times.
Well, someone says about March Madness that's 68 teams, but there are over 340, I believe,
it's ridiculous.
NCAA basketball teams. So it does seem excessive, 68, but I think that's perfect. Yeah, 16 out of 30 is more than half the league, and I'm not a fan of that.
16 make it.
Yeah,
in the NHL.
Still 16. Yeah. Same with
it
the NBA.
16 out of 20 out of 21. But it would be good to have the two big guys back. Sid
and
is still
Malkin.
out about 2 weeks.
I'd say so. He's skating, but it's non-contact, and we'll see.
And of course, I don't know what's going through Malkin's head when he decided.
I think he would outgrow that by now, but he is not. He's a veteran. It was a rookie mistake.
Yeah,
you think he would have outgrown that by now, but
that's one thing. Sid will get hacked from behind when the refs aren't looking.
Right.
One night, a guy was cross-checking him, knocked his helmet off with his stick, cross-checking him, and Sid just skated away.
He did.
Yeah,
he just said, "You know what? I'm not going to engage."
We've been very lucky in Pittsburgh to have some players. Have you ever heard even something remotely negative about Sid Crosby?
No, you would think he would just snap and just go crazy on the South Side, running around nude or something with a keg.
I don't see that happen.
No, he's pushing 40. If he was going to do that, it would have been a while ago.
Yeah, I have a feeling at some point. I guess Yarmer Yager has said this might be it.
Oh yeah, because he's finally hanging up the skates.
They really should have him come in and play a few times in preseason.
Yeah.
Like they did with what's his name last year.
I loved what's his name. Oh, Fleury.
Fleury played
absolutely
an entire period in goalie for the Penguins.
He did. Yeah, bring him back. Why not?
Yeah, it was pretty outrageous.
Is a Carney and Hackey? Why? Yeah, but so what?
Right. We had Mike Lang on when he said how unusual it was. Was it Mike Lang? Yeah, I guess Mike would have said that to us. How unusual it was for somebody whose number's being retired who could still go out and skate the pre-skate warm-ups.
That's right.
Yeah, usually it's somebody who's
that's amazing.
Much further up there. But he I guess he owns a team in his home country, and every time he plays even a few periods, he delays by another 5 years when he could get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he doesn't mind. I'm sure he doesn't care.
I think a lot of folks forget that these Halls of Fame, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, bowling.
Oh, the Bowling Hall of Fame.
No, it's not the NFL Hall of Fame or the NBA or the NHL,
no,
Major League Baseball. It is the Sports Hall of Fame.
Right.
And it's not run by, obviously there's a lot of connections between the two, but it's not run by the actual
It's not run by the league, no.
Right. And that's why at times we pull our hair out as to how people get into the Halls of Fame. Roberto Clemente was not a unanimous choice. Either was Hank Aaron, a unanimous choice.
Yeah, well, it's silly.
Or
The voters
Babe Ruth.
have slights. Yeah, the politics of it. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, some writer got snubbed by, I don't know,
Yeah.
Robin Yount, so I'm not
Oh,
voting.
exactly. I'm not voting for Robin Yount. He cut me off at the cafeteria once.
Yeah. The reason I brought up Robin Yount.
Brewers.
Yes. I never heard of him till he got in the Hall of Fame. Now, somehow that name, I'm a baseball fan, somehow that name just escaped
That is
me.
odd. And you were around back then,
Oh,
right?
sure I was. Yeah. Yeah, he was a great player.
Anywho, you can't know everything, Doug.
No, you can't know everything. 70, what are we looking at? 2 degrees right now outside our Davis & Davis Attorneys at Law Studios. I'm Doug Saltzman. That's Nick Barczyk. We'll be back tomorrow after the 5 o'clock news. Professor Bird Wiost will join us from Franklin Marshall College to talk about the latest polling. And we hope to talk to an assistant coach with Duquesne University, men's basketball, talk about their season. And we'll have on the women's coach as well at some point down the line. They're currently in the tournament. Thanks for listening tonight. Enjoy the game. I'm Doug. That's Nick. Go Pens.
For the next 5 games, Mish, hockey is always about focusing on the next game, as you know, but the previous one for the Penguins was pretty big. Heading into this road trip after a winless homestand is a lot different than heading into this road trip coming